Hi everyone, my name is Ranger Megan and I work at Biscayne National Park, and helping me today with our little project is my 7-year-old daughter Eva. Say hi.
Hi.
Alright, so as you can see, I am not at the park. We are at our humble abode, our little home back in Homestead, Florida, and what we are working on today is a coral polyp. One of my favorite things about Biscayne National Park are our beautiful coral reefs, and since I can't be there to actually see them in person, we're going to make our own today. So you can make this with us, along with us if you want to, or you can just watch and drool over our little treats on your couch, and I won't be there to judge you. So the first thing you're going to need are some graham crackers. Any other flat type of cookie will do, but since we have 2 people here, we're going to break it in half, and we each are going to have our own plate. Eva, do you want to show them how pretty our Biscayne plates are today? Yeah, extra Floridian. All right, go ahead and put it down, baby. So we're each going to have a graham cracker cookie. We'll explain what that is in a minute. We are also each going to have some sort of Tootsie Roll type of candy. Doesn't matter what flavor, what color. We are going to be making things out of this kind of like Play-Doh later. Another thing we're going to need, as far as utensils go, is we're going to need a spoon or a butter knife or something to spread with. And then we're also each going to need a toothpick. There you go. We are going to need a little bit of a banana each. We're going to need some really pretty colors, as well as some icing. Or if you don't have icing at home, you are more than welcome to use some jelly or jam. So the first thing we want to do is simply put your graham cracker or your cookie, whatever you have, on your plate. See how hard that was? Oh man, can you do that? We got it? All right, cool. So this is what's going to be called our substrate. Now, substrate's just a fancy science word for the bottom of the ocean floor. So that is where our coral polyps are going to grow into a giant coral reef. Now, we have to have a way to stick our coral polyp to the substrate. So what are we going to use, Eva?
Icing.
Icing! So we are going to use just a little bit of icing, or again, you can use jelly or jam, whatever you have at the house. And we're just going to put a little bit on there, and we're going to kind of spread it around so we have something to stick our banana to in just a minute. It does not look pretty. It does not have to look pretty. Just the hardest part is just not eating it. All right, you ready? You want to do it? Go ahead and stick that on there. All right, kind of smush it over to the middle. There you go. And honestly, if you just want to lick your fingers, you don't have to use a spoon, but you know, we want to be as professional as we can on camera. What you don't see me is how much I was licking my fingers when I was making this icing. So, slap it on there real good. You want to show them your icing? Awesome sauce. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to use our banana. Now, if you don't have bananas at home, but maybe you have marshmallows, or if you just prefer marshmallows, you can use a marshmallow as well. And the reason we want something soft and smushy like a banana or a marshmallow, 1, because it's delicious, and 2, because our coral polyps are not rocks and they're not plants. They're actually squishy little tiny things that are clear. They don't have any color. And they're actually related to a jellyfish. And so this is about as close to a food item as we're going to get to a jellyfish. So I'm going to cut the end off. You want to eat that? Yes, you do. She's my daughter. We can share germs. So we're going to cut off a little piece, probably about 1 inch or so. And then you're going to stick that onto your icing so it sticks to your substrate. Woo! Icing and bananas. Yes, good stuff. All right, and then I'm going to stick my coral polyp body onto the icing as well, nice and sticky. So when you're done, it should just stick to your cookie or your graham cracker, whatever you have, right? All right, so now we have our substrate and we have our coral polyp body. But a body can't do anything if it can't function, it can't feed itself. So we're going to need to make it a mouth. So go ahead and get your toothpick. We're going to use our little toothpick and we're going to stick it in the middle of our banana and kind of make like a little hole on the inside. Just kind of, dig a little hole out of the middle. It doesn't have to go all the way down, but just enough to kind of get the idea. You can see right there. There's our little hole. Now our coral polyp has a what?
Mouth.
A mouth. It has a mouth it can eat. Yay! But it'd be kind of hard to eat if it couldn't get food into its mouth, so it needs little arms, little tentacles to stick out. Because remember, we said this is very much related to like a jellyfish. So using our toothpick again, we are going to make little bitty holes, just kind of poking around. We're going to make maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can make as many or as few as you want. Because these little bitty holes are what we're going to use to kind of stick our tentacles down into the banana or the marshmallow later. Now, got to make our tentacles. Now guys, if you are lucky enough to have Twizzlers at home, you can just untwist the Twizzler and kind of cut off the ends and you have perfectly shaped Twizzlers for tentacles, and then you don't have to worry about this. But if you're like me and you're just working with extra leftover like Easter candy, Tootsie Rolls work really well. It's like edible Play-Doh. So, do you want the green or the orange?
I want the orange.
You want the orange? Regular, old-fashioned Tootsie Rolls like this are just as good. You can use whatever color or flavor. I think there's probably 12.5 flavors out there. All right, so what we are going to do is we're going to make little tentacles the same way you would make little snakes out of Play-Doh. So we're gonna just pinch off an end, as big or as little as you want. There you go. And now you can roll it in your hand or you can roll it on the plate, whatever you want to do. And we're just going to kind of roll it in our hand like this. See? And we're making little snakes. See, I made a little snake looking thing, right? And I want a couple of these. And you don't want to make them too thin or they'll come apart. But we're going to make a couple. We're just going to set them on the plate for right now. And then we'll stick them all together in a minute. Then once you make one, you can make a few more. So we can make as many as you want. I think I'm going to make about 4. What do you think?
4.
4? Sounds good to you too? I see. There's a lot of finger licking going on for this experiment, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
It's the best kind of experiments.
And we're using candy and icing.
Yeah,
yummy stuff.
Absolutely. Candy and icing and all the yummy stuff. And we're going to call it healthy because it's got a banana on it, and that's close enough. All right, I think I'm going to make one more. Man, your little tentacles look good. Little orange tentacles. Now, we have our little pieces here going on. All right, so trying to stick this into your marshmallow or banana is going to be kind of hard because this is soft, your polyp body is soft. So we're going to take one of these and our toothpick, and we're going to use this to just kind of use the toothpick and smush it down into the banana or the marshmallow, right? And it's like a little tiny extra finger. And just kind of mush it down in there. You can use your toothpick. Kind of mush it down in there. Yep, there you go. And some of these might stick better than others, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect or pretty by any means. There you go. That one's all curled up, just like some coral polyps do curl up their little tentacles when something bad's coming along and they're scared to go suck it back in. All right, and then let's do one more, like right here, and we'll stick her in there real good. Woo! All right, so let's put that right there for now. All right, while she's sticking hers on there, I'm going to show you mine so far. See, I just stuck some little tentacles in there around the mouth, and these are like little arms. So it reaches out into the ocean, and it grabs little bits and pieces as it goes flying by and goes, ow, ow, ow. But when you have beautiful, clear, pretty waters like you do out in South Florida around Biscayne National Park, there's not a whole lot flowing by. There's not as many nutrients as a polyp might really need to survive. So these little polyps only get about maybe 20% of their food by grabbing things out of the water in order to eat. So the rest of its food and its color comes from these tiny little plants, little microscopic algae called zooxanthellae. Can you say that?
Zooxanthellae.
Zooxanthellae. That is the name of these little microscopic algae and things that live inside these polyps. Now, just like every plant, it needs water, it needs something to grow in, like a soil or something. And what else does a plant need to grow?
Food.
It needs food, or does it make its own food?
Make its own.
What does it make its own food out of? What kind of energy does it use?
The sun.
The sun. And remember how I said our waters are nice and clear? It lets lots of sunlight in. And so when it uses all this sunlight, all these little plants make its food, it uses a lot of sunlight because we're the sunshine state. So then, what happens?
It gets its colors.
It gets its colors, that's right. Just like our regular plants outside, when they get lots of sunlight and water and all the things that they need, they turn bright greens, or it has flowers that are all these different colors. And think about the corals that you have back home. What's your favorite color coral that you like?
Purple.
You like the purple ones? I like the purple ones too, but I've seen golds and greens, purples, reds, oranges. They're beautiful. And that's what these little plants are doing, is they're creating the colors and giving that extra energy that they don't need to the coral polyp for it to survive. Now, I think right now our coral polyps are kind of plain looking. Do you think they have any zooxanthellae in them? You think we should fix that? Absolutely, and that's where our sprinkles come in. And just like I said, any corals can be just about any color right here. We are going to just go overboard with this, and we're going to pick whatever color we want. Now, what color coral zooxanthellae do you want? You want pink? Oh, I have seen some beautiful pink corals out there before, some reds and purples and things. So go ahead, we're just going to shake that on top. Me, personally, my favorite color is green. So I'm going to use some green, and we're just going to sprinkle some zooxanthellae on it. Now, technically, our zooxanthellae live inside our corals, but I'm not about to put each individual sprinkle inside a banana. So we're just going to sprinkle it on top and around the edges and stuff, and just, you know, make a complete and total mess because we're in quarantine. Why not? We are having fun making a total mess. Are you having fun making a total mess?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
I want to do a different color now.
You want to do a different color too? I think your corals look pretty good.
Maybe I'll do a touch of.
You want to do just a touch of what? Oh, a touch of green. We're going to add green to hers too. All right, so we have all these different colors and stuff. Oh man, we are just awesome, messy, and everything. All right, all the sprinkles everywhere. All right, so you ready? I do believe our stuff is ready. So let's pick it up and we'll show our fabulous folks at home. Yay! We have our corals. So one last tidbit before you go. Let's go back over one more thing, what they're called, and then we'll talk about what eats our corals. So this was our substrate, which is like the what?
The ground.
The ground, the ocean floor, that's right. Then the banana or the marshmallow was our
Body.
our body, the coral polyp itself. And then all these little wiggly lines off the sides were like our what?
Tentacles.
Our tentacles, and the hole in the middle was its
Mouth.
its mouth. And all the sprinkles represents the
Food.
food making algae called, oh, it's a big word. Let's say it together. Ready? Zooxanthellae. Ready? Zooxanthellae. Yay! It's a big word. All right. So, what eats corals?
Parrotfish.
Parrotfish. Actually, technically, they're not even trying to eat the corals. What are they trying to eat?
the stuff that live in the coral.
The stuff that lives in the corals are zooxanthellae. They love to eat the algae. But if you are a parrotfish and you're the size of a football, nom, 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 are you going to pick at each tiny little sprinkle that's inside our coral polyp? No, you're just going to eat the whole dang thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And inside the coral polyp are like these little bony structures, are little rocks that they create out of the carbon in the, or not the carbon, the calcium in the water. And so if a parrotfish comes up and eats this, they're going to get the algae that they want. They're also going to get the polyp, and they're going to get the rock on the inside as well. Eva, what happens when we crush up rock?
It turns into sand.
What do you think parrotfish is pooping out at the end of it?
Sand.
Sand. So if you ever slept or laid out or enjoyed a wonderful, nice sandy white beach, what are you actually laying on?
Parrotfish poop.
Parrotfish poop. Yay! So we are going to be wonderful parrotfish right now, and we're going to take a bite out of our coral polyp. You ready? I'm good? Perfect. Well, guys, we hope that you had fun with this at home and that you made a mess with us and that you enjoy this. Whether you like it or not, it was fun to make, right? I'm thoroughly enjoying all the sweets. I think she is too. Our banana's already disappeared. So until next time, guys, have safe, fun, be safe. One of those? What am I supposed to say? How about have fun and be safe? And we will see you eventually when all this is over.